Hello everyone, and welcome to your Unit of Inquiry lessons for this week. This is going to be one video lesson that is broken down into 4 different parts for the 4 days of learning this week. We can start with part 1, and that is for Monday, and our theme for this lesson is renewable. This is a new vocabulary word. To get started, I have a question. What are the Earth's natural resources? There are 7 of them. Can you name them all? You can pause the video to see if you can name all 7. The Earth's natural resources are air, water, sunlight, trees and plants, animals, rocks and minerals, and oil. Well done if you got all 7. When we look at these 7 natural resources, we can sort them into 2 categories. The first category, and that's what we're talking about today, are resources that are renewable. Renewable. Say it with me. Renewable. Good job. Renewable resources. These ones are sun, wind, water, trees and plants, and animals and animal material. These resources are renewable. That means that we can use these resources again and again, and the Earth is going to make more for us. So we will always have the sun. The sun is a renewable resource. We will always have wind. Wind is a renewable resource. Water, we will always have water. We will always have trees and plants, and we will always have animals. But these 3, water, trees and plants, and animals, we need to be careful because we don't want to use them up faster than nature can make more. So these are all renewable. Nature makes more of them for us to use. We can use renewable resources to make energy, and energy is what helps us make electricity and heat and cook. So we can use the sun to make solar power. We can use the water to make hydropower. And we can use the wind to make wind power. The great thing about these 3 resources is that they are clean sources of energy. When we use them, they don't make pollution. So that is a very special bonus of using solar power, hydropower, and wind power. What I'd like you to do now is to add the word renewable to your Pictionary. You can scroll back in the video if you want to see those posters again for ideas for your pictures. And when you're ready tomorrow, you can join back for part 2. Welcome back to part 2. Yesterday, in the beginning, we talked about renewable resources. Now we're talking about non-renewable resources. So I want you to pause the video for a second and try to think, if renewable means we can use it again and again and nature makes more, what do you think non-renewable means? Non-renewable means that the resource can't be made by nature anymore. So these are oil, rocks and minerals, and there's another one down here called natural gas. All of these things were made deep underground in the earth over millions and millions of years. And so it would take millions and millions more years to make more. So as we use these resources, eventually they're going to run out. It's kind of like a bag of chips, right? You start off with a full bag of chips, just like the earth made these resources for us. And when you get down to the last one and you use it, there's no more left. So we need to be careful using these resources because eventually they're going to run out. We also use non-renewable resources to make energy for electricity and heat and cooking and batteries and gas for the cars that we drive. But when we use these kinds of resources, they make pollution. So not only are we going to run out of these resources, they are also very bad for the environment while we're using them. I'd like you to go ahead and add the word non-renewable into your Pictionary. Scroll back in the video if you want to see those posters for ideas, and come back and join me for part 3. Welcome to part 3. We've talked about the big problems. We have too much pollution, and mostly this pollution in our air and in our water and in our soil are from using non-renewable resources to make energy and to make all of the things that we use over the course of our day and weeks. The other part of our problem is we have too much waste, too much garbage. So waste is anything that we don't want anymore that we put in the garbage. So you can see on this poster lots of different things that we throw into the garbage every day. And this is a problem. The solution to this problem is we need to make less waste. And this big science word for this is called reduce. Reduce. Can you say it with me? Reduce. When we reduce, means that we use less. So we can use less energy by turning the lights off. We can use less water by turning off the taps. There's a connection to our song. And we can also make less pollution. We can stop driving when we don't need to. We can walk or ride a bicycle. We can use clean sources of energy. And we can use less plastic. So all of these things we can use less of. So paper towels. Instead of using paper towels, we can use less by using cloths that we can wash and use again. We can use less plastic. These are great Ziploc bags for food and storing things, but it's plastic that has to go into the garbage. Instead, we can use Tupperware or plastic containers like this that will last a long time. Or you can even find zipped bags that you can put your snacks in, that you can wash and use again. We can also choose to use less plastic. So instead of going to the store and buying shampoo that comes in plastic bottles that you'll need to throw away, you can now buy some shampoos and other beauty products that don't have any packaging at all. So lots of people are coming up with great ideas as to how we can reduce. Means we need to use less and make less waste. I want you to go ahead and add the word reduce to your Pictionary and join me back for part 4. Welcome to part 4. We're still talking about conservation. How do we conserve? How do we use less and protect our natural resources? So we talked about reduce. Means we need to use less and we need to make less waste. Another way that we can reduce the amount of waste that we have is to, today's word, refuse. Refuse. Can you say it with me? Refuse. Refuse means to say no. We can say no thank you to a bunch of different things that are going to help us make less waste. So we can just say no. One idea is when you go to a restaurant and they offer you a straw. You can say no and drink from your cup without a straw. So you're making less waste. You can also buy some reusable plastic and metal straws that you can bring with you or use, and these you just wash and use again. Another big thing we can do is to say no to plastic bags. When you go to the grocery store or shopping, you'll often get these plastic bags, and we can say no thank you. And we can use other kinds of bags. We can use mesh bags that we can wash and use again. And many places are also offering these nice, sturdy, reusable bags that you can use instead of plastic when you buy your groceries. So refuse just means to say no. You say no to buying things or using things that you know are just going to end up in the garbage. So can you think of another items that you could refuse, that you could say no to using so that we can make less garbage? I want you to go ahead and add the word refuse to your Pictionary. Thanks for watching, and I'm sure there will be many more videos to come. Great learning, everyone.